Chosen one. You are not here by accident. Heaven scheduled this moment for you. In the spirit, you are standing at the edge of a billionaire shift, a supernatural wealth transfer that has your name written on it. The Father is sounding an alarm in your spirit, warning you to pay attention, to wake up, to lean in. Anointed one. The doors of divine abundance are opening, and the ground under your life is beginning to move. Scripture says that when you seek first the kingdom, everything else is added. Tonight, that promise is circling your life. Get ready to receive. Chosen one. Heaven has been watching you far longer than this video has. God has seen every silent sacrifice, every night you wiped your own tears and still got up to fight again. You did not break. You bent, but you did not break. Anointed one. You have walked through valleys that people around you know nothing about. You smiled while your heart was bleeding. You encouraged others while secretly wondering who would encourage you, and yet here you are, still standing still, breathing still, listening. That is not weakness. That is evidence that the hand of God has been holding you the whole time. There was a time in my own life when I thought, maybe this is just my portion. Maybe struggle is my story. I remember counting coins at the end of the month, feeling both ashamed and exhausted, wondering why my faith did not seem to match my reality. But even in that season, God whispered, "I am not done. This is training, not punishment." Chosen one. God is saying the same thing to you now. Heaven is declaring, enough is enough. The time for endless circling is over. The time for spiritual and financial drought is coming to a close. The season of surviving is giving way to a season of supernatural thriving. This billionaire shift that God is warning you about is not just about numbers in a bank account. It is about an overflow of favor, wisdom, and influence that will touch every corner of your life. It is about you becoming someone whose very presence shifts the atmosphere, whose decisions move resources, whose obedience unlocks doors for others. Anointed one, this is bigger than money. This is about legacy. This is about your name being attached to impact, not just income. It is about you walking into rooms that once intimidated you and realizing that God sent you there as a solution, not as a spectator. Right now, whether you feel it or not, there is a holy alignment taking place around you. The timing, the connections, the ideas, the opportunities that seemed random are being pulled into order by the hand of God. You are not watching this by curiosity. You are watching this by covenant. Can you feel it in your spirit, chosen one, that subtle stirring, that quiet sense that something unseen is shifting? It is like standing on solid ground and suddenly realizing the earth under your feet is quietly moving you forward. You may not see the whole path, but your spirit knows you are not in the same place anymore. This billionaire shift begins inside you before it ever appears around you. God is reaching into your mindset, into the way you see yourself, your future, and His promises. For so long you have operated in survival mode, always preparing for the worst, always waiting for the next attack. But heaven is changing your internal settings. Anointed one, God is upgrading your inner script. He is gently but firmly pulling out the thoughts that tell you, this is too much for me, I am not worthy, I will always struggle. He's replacing them with a new truth, I am chosen, I am trusted, I am prepared for more. There was a moment in my own journey when God confronted my mentality before He changed my money. He asked me, if I give you more, will you still think like less? That question broke me. I realized my hands were praying for overflow while my mind was still married to lack. Maybe you know that feeling. Chosen one, this is the line heaven is drawing for you now. You are not being called to chase wealth. You are being invited to become a magnet for it because you are aligned with your purpose and with God's heart. The world's system runs on fear and shortage. Heaven's system runs on trust and overflow. As you agree with God about who you truly are, you will begin to see opportunities appear that make no natural sense. Conversations will happen at the right time. Ideas will come that feel too big to be yours, yet you will know they are heaven sent. This is not random. This is the early rumble of your billionaire shift. Chosen one, stay with me. Let these words sink past your mind and into your spirit. You are not being hyped, you are being awakened. Heaven is not flirting with you. Heaven is commissioning you. And in the next part of this message, we are going to go even deeper into how this shift will begin to tangibly unfold in your life. Chosen one. Let's talk about what this billionaire shift really looks like when it begins to touch your everyday life. It does not start with you waking up and suddenly seeing a mysterious 7 figures in your account. It often starts with small, holy disruptions. A thought you cannot shake, an invitation you did not expect, a door that should have been closed, but somehow opens anyway. Heaven rarely announces itself with fireworks. It shows up as a whisper, a nudge, a gentle but undeniable push forward. That is how you will know God is rearranging the pieces of your story. Anointed one, picture this. You wake up one day and realize your decisions are starting to carry more weight. The meetings that used to ignore your presence now pause when you speak. The ideas you used to hide in your journal suddenly make sense in a boardroom, in a ministry, in a project that starts to gain momentum. You are not just one of many anymore. You become a reference point, the person people look to when something crucial must be decided. That is not random favor. That is the beginning of divine promotion. I remember a season where I felt invisible. I was doing the work, showing up, sowing seeds that no one seemed to notice. Then, slowly, without me striving harder, people began saying, "I don't know why, but I feel like I'm supposed to talk to you about this opportunity." It was not because I became perfect overnight. It was because God began to breathe on what I had already been faithful with. Chosen one. The same breath is about to touch what you have been building in the dark. This billionaire shift is not just about wealth coming to you, it is about wealth beginning to flow through you. It will show up in the way you think about money, about generosity, about responsibility. You will stop asking, "How can I just get out of this struggle?" And you will start asking, "How can I build something that breaks this struggle for others too?" That is when you know heaven is trusting you with more. God is not raising you as just a receiver. He is raising you as a distributor. Anointed one. Imagine walking into a store and not checking your balance first. Not because you are reckless, but because you're no longer obsessed with scarcity. Imagine being able to pay someone's debt, quietly fund a project without posting it online, help a family without needing applause. That level of freedom is part of your billionaire shift. It is not just about luxury. It is about options. It is about having enough and more than enough to obey when God says, "Give." But before wealth flows outward, something powerful happens inward. God will begin to confront the stories you tell yourself about money, about success, about worth. Maybe you grew up hearing people like us never get ahead, or rich people are always corrupt, or if you're blessed, you must be doing something wrong. Those beliefs sit like silent guards at the door of your next level. The Holy Spirit is about to escort those lies out of your life. Chosen one. Your spirit knows this already. Lack was never your identity. It may have been your environment, your history, your temporary assignment, but it was never your label. Even in the tightest seasons, there was always a part of you that felt, there has to be more than this. That was God's fingerprint talking. That was his covenant with you whispering from the inside, I built you for abundance, not for permanent survival mode. There was a time where my prayers sounded like begging. I would say, God, please just help me pay this. Just help me get through this month. One day, I felt a shift. Instead of begging, I started to thank him ahead of time. I said, Lord, I don't see it yet, but I thank you that you have already provided. That small change moved something inside me. It did not instantly solve everything, but it changed the posture of my heart. I stopped praying as a victim and started praying as someone who was loved and backed by heaven. Anointed one. This is part of your shift. Your language is changing. You will hear yourself speak differently. You will stop saying, I never have enough, and start saying, God is teaching me how to steward more. You will stop saying, nothing ever works out for me, and start declaring, all things are working together for my good, even when I do not see it yet. Your words will begin to match your destiny, not your history. And when your words line up with heaven, doors have no choice but to respond. This billionaire shift also shows up in the kind of problems you face. Right now, you might be dealing with, how do I pay this bill? But as God lifts you, you will start asking, how do I manage this increase? How do I build a team? How do I structure this business or ministry so it can outlive me? The level of your problems will reveal the level of your promotion. Do not be afraid of new challenges. They are proof that God trusts you with more territory. Chosen one, hear this deeply. God is not just trying to make you comfortable. He is trying to make you impactful. Comfort is a side effect. Impact is the goal. The billionaire shift is heaven's way of positioning you as an answer in a world full of questions, a light in a world that is tired of darkness, a source in a world that has run out of resources and hope. And in the next part of this message, we are going to walk even deeper into how heaven aligns timing, connections, and opportunities specifically for you, so you can recognize the signs when your shift is no longer just a promise, but a present reality. Chosen one, let us go even deeper. You need to hear this clearly. A billionaire shift in the spirit does not begin with a number in your bank account. It begins with what you believe when you hear the word abundance. Do you flinch a little inside, feel guilty, or think, that is for other people, not for me? That reaction is not humility. It is an old wound talking. For years, you have been trained to expect just enough to get by to celebrate survival more than expansion. Heaven is confronting that today. Anointed one, God is not offended by your desire to be free from financial pressure. He is the one who planted the desire for overflow so that you could fund what your calling requires. You cannot build schools with only good intentions. You cannot rescue families with only kind thoughts. You cannot step into your assignment as a kingdom solution while constantly drowning in worry about tomorrow. The billionaire shift is God saying, I am not only healing your heart, I am upgrading your resources to match your purpose. I remember a season when I was counting coins at the back of a small store, trying to decide if I bought food or paid a bill. I still showed up, still worshipped, still said, God, I trust you. But inside, I felt ashamed that my faith and my finances looked so far apart. One day in the middle of that internal storm, I heard a quiet whisper in my spirit. You are not broke, you are in training. That sentence did not change my account overnight, but it changed my posture. I stopped saying I am poor and started saying I am being prepared. Within months, ideas began to come, doors began to open, and wisdom started to flow from places I did not expect. The money followed the mindset shift. Chosen one. God is doing something similar in you. He is teaching you to speak from your identity, not your condition. Your condition might say insufficient, but your identity says heir. Your condition might say overdraft, but your identity says overflow. This is why the battle over your words has been so intense. The billionaire shift is activated when your mouth agrees with what heaven has already written about you. This is also why certain habits are breaking off you right now. You used to impulse buy to numb pain. You used to give money to prove your worth. You used to lend to people who never respected your sacrifice. But lately, you feel a holy discomfort around those patterns. That is not you becoming stingy, that is the Holy Spirit teaching you stewardship. A kingdom billionaire, even if they never carry the title, is a wise builder, a careful discerner, and a fearless giver. God is training your hands so that when more is placed in them, it will not destroy you, it will flow through you. Anointed one, do not be surprised if God starts cleaning your financial environment before the transfer arrives. He may nudge you to close certain doors that leak your time and money. He may highlight subscriptions, partnerships, or even friendships that keep you stuck in small thinking. He may ask you to sit with your numbers, look at your debts, and face what you have been avoiding. Not to shame you, but to show you where he wants to breathe. Remember, light does not come to embarrass, it comes to reveal the path forward. There will also be divine instructions that do not seem logical on paper. You might feel led to sow into someone who cannot pay you back. You might be prompted to invest in a course, a skill, a license, or a small startup idea when your natural mind says, play it safe. This is where intimacy with God matters. Not every opportunity is kingdom, and not every risk is faith. But when peace, conviction, and alignment meet in your spirit, you will know this move is not random. This is part of my billionaire shift blueprint, chosen. One, hear this with your whole heart. You are not being prepared to become a decorated survivor. You are being prepared to become a distributor of heaven's resources. You are not a spiritual beggar waiting outside the gate. You are a royal child learning how to hold the keys to the storehouse. That means your prayers are changing too. Less, Lord, just help me pay this bill, and more, Lord, show me how to generate, to multiply, and to bless others from the overflow you give me. And as this inner transformation deepens, you will notice something subtle but powerful. The envy that used to bite your heart when you saw others prosper will turn into curiosity and celebration. The heaviness you felt when money was mentioned will be replaced with a sober joy, a sense of, I am ready to learn, I am ready to be trusted with more. That is when you will know the billionaire shift has already started, long before the world can see it. In the next movement of this journey, Anointed One, we will begin to talk about how God is aligning people, places, and timing around you quietly, building the bridge between where you stand now and the future He has already prepared. Chosen One, now let us step into how heaven is arranging the external pieces of your billionaire shift. What God is doing in you is invisible at first, but it never stays invisible. Once your mindset, language, and heart begin to align with His purpose, you will start to notice something changing around you. People, places, and opportunities will begin to move like pieces on a divine chessboard. It might look random to others, but in the spirit, it is precise strategy. Anointed One. There are people who were only meant to walk with you for one chapter, not your whole story. Some of them carried pain patterns or perspectives that kept your life locked in old cycles. When God begins to prepare you for a financial and spiritual promotion, He will gently but firmly start to move those connections out of the center of your life. You may notice conversations fading, calls slowing down, invitations growing quiet. Do not chase what God is intentionally phasing out. I remember a season where suddenly people I thought I needed started to distance themselves. At first, I took it personally. I wondered, did I do something wrong? Am I being abandoned? But in prayer, I felt the Lord say, I am not subtracting, I am making room. Within months, He sent mentors, partners, and divine connections that spoke to my destiny, not my insecurity. Had I clung to the old, I would have missed the new. Chosen one. Some people are attached to your former struggle, not your future glory. They are comfortable with you as long as you stay small, predictable, and accessible in ways that drain you. When God begins your billionaire shift, He will tighten your circle, not because you're too good for others, but because your assignment requires protection, focus, and alignment. Not everyone can handle the version of you that walks in full power and provision. Pay attention, anointed one, to the new voices God is sending into your life. They might appear as a teacher, a coach, a boss, a spiritual leader, or even a stranger with one sentence that changes your whole perspective. These are destiny helpers, not by accident, but by appointment. They carry keys you need: financial wisdom, spiritual maturity, business insight, or simply a confirmation that you are not crazy for dreaming this big. Your environment will begin to shift too. You may feel a holy discomfort in places where you once felt at home. The job that used to feel good enough now feels too small for what God has placed in you. The city, community, or circle you once tolerated now feels like a tight shirt you have outgrown. This is not ingratitude. It is prophetic restlessness. It is your spirit saying, there is more, and I am being called to where that more lives. Sometimes the first sign of this shift is not a promotion, but a shaking. Hours get cut, doors close, familiar routines collapse. If you look only with natural eyes, it will feel like loss. But look deeper. Chosen one. Many times God will allow a door to close because you would never leave it on your own. He is not punishing you. He is pushing you into alignment with something bigger. Anointed one. You might start receiving ideas at unusual times: in the shower, on the bus, while washing dishes, while lying awake at 2 a.m. Do not ignore those sparks. Write them down. Treat them as seeds. Some of them will become businesses, books, digital platforms, investments, or creative projects that generate streams of income and impact far beyond your current capacity. The billionaire shift is not just one big miracle. It is often a series of small, obedient yeses. There will also be moments when you feel God say, "Not yet," even when an opportunity looks perfect. That delay is not rejection, it is calibration. Sometimes the opportunity is real, but the timing is off. Sometimes the timing is right, but the partners are wrong. In those moments, your trust in God's character becomes more important than your desire for speed. Remember, delay in the kingdom is usually preparation in disguise. Chosen one, learn to see divine patterns. When you keep hearing the same phrase, the same scripture theme, the same idea from different directions, heaven is highlighting something. When the same type of person keeps crossing your path, God may be showing you a model, a mentor, or a mirror. When doors close in the same direction repeatedly, it is often because a greater door is being prepared elsewhere. Your billionaire shift is not chaos. It is choreography. Every meeting, every no, every uncomfortable transition is part of a larger picture that you will only fully see in hindsight. Right now, your assignment is not to figure out every detail. Your assignment is to stay sensitive, obedient, and available. And in the next part of this journey, Anointed One, we will begin to unfold how God teaches you to partner with strategy, discipline, and spiritual authority so that you not only step into this shift, but remain stable and fruitful in it. Chosen One. Now we step into something many people pray for, but few prepare for what it actually takes to carry this billionaire shift with stability, discipline, and spiritual authority. Breakthrough is exciting. Overflow is beautiful, but without structure, even a miracle can be mishandled. God is not just sending blessings to you. He is shaping the kind of person who can live inside that blessing without losing their soul, their peace, or their purpose. Anointed One. This is where strategy enters. The same God who sends ravens to feed a prophet is the God who taught Joseph to store grain, the God who gave Noah the exact blueprints for the ark. Heaven is not random. So as your shift begins, God will nudge you into practical wisdom, learning how to budget, how to track, how to invest, how to plan ahead. Do not despise these simple steps. They are not unspiritual. They are sacred containers for your future provision. I remember when God first started speaking to me about discipline. It did not begin with some huge business. It began with simple instructions. Write it down. Stop ignoring your numbers. Stop pretending you don't care. I used to avoid looking at my accounts because it made me anxious. Facing the reality felt painful, but I realized if I cannot look at hundreds without panicking, how will I ever manage hundreds of thousands? The Lord was not shaming me. He was strengthening me. Every spreadsheet, every small plan, every uncomfortable conversation about money became a form of spiritual training. Chosen One. You may feel that same pull right now. Suddenly it matters to you where your money goes. Suddenly you are paying attention to subscriptions, interest rates, contracts, and fine print. That is not paranoia. That is wisdom waking up. God is teaching you that favor does not replace responsibility, it enhances it. Spiritual authority is also crucial in this shift. You are not just called to be financially literate, you are called to be spiritually alert. When more flows into your life, more assignments, more demands, and yes, more attacks will try to attach themselves to you. That is why God is sharpening your discernment. He is teaching you to say no without guilt, to walk away from deals that do not carry peace, to recognize when something looks lucrative but feels wrong in your spirit. Anointed One authority means you stop acting like a victim of circumstances and start standing as someone who can speak into them. When lack knocks, you do not bow, you declare. When fear whispers, you do not agree, you resist. When confusion swirls, you do not run in circles, you get still and listen. The same God who is shifting your finances is also teaching your spirit to stand like a pillar in the storm. Strategy, discipline, and authority will affect your daily routines too. You may feel led to wake up earlier to study, to read, to learn new skills, instead of numbing yourself with endless distractions. You may sense God asking you to fast from certain voices, certain entertainment, certain environments that drain your focus. This is not punishment. This is God separating you for something greater. Your habits must match your harvest. There will be moments when it feels like you are doing a lot and seeing little. You are learning, planning, sowing, cutting back, and yet the numbers do not seem to scream billionaire shift yet. Chosen One, do not be deceived by the silence. Seeds always look insignificant until they break the soil. What you are building in discipline and strategy now is the invisible infrastructure for what is coming. And remember this, you are not doing this alone. God is not the distant CEO of your destiny. He is your partner. When you sit down with your plans, invite him. When you are unsure about a decision, ask him. When you feel tired, tell him. This shift is not meant to pull you away from his presence. It is meant to anchor you deeper in it. In the next movement of this journey, Anointed One, we will begin to uncover how joy, peace, and inner healing intertwine with your billionaire shift, so that what God gives you on the outside never outruns what He is restoring on the inside. Chosen One. Let's talk about something most people overlook when they pray for overflow, the healing of the heart that must come with it. Money can change your environment, but it cannot automatically heal your inner world. That is why God, in His mercy, is weaving joy, peace, and restoration into your billionaire shift. He does not want you to step into a new level carrying the same old wounds, fears, and insecurities that tormented you in the valley. Anointed One, some of the financial battles you have faced were never just about money. They were about identity. Every unpaid bill, every rejection, every "we're sorry you didn't qualify" felt like a personal verdict against your worth. You started to secretly believe, maybe I am not meant for more. Maybe I am always going to be the one behind. Those lies dug deep. But listen carefully. The shift God is bringing is not only external. He is gently reaching into those painful places, those memories of lack, those childhood moments where you watched adults argue about money, or where you felt the embarrassment of not having what others had. He is laying His hand on those scenes and saying, this is not the final definition of your life. I am rewriting your story. I remember a time when even good news made me nervous. If an unexpected blessing came, part of me waited for something bad to follow, as if joy always had to be punished. It took time for God to teach me that His goodness was not a setup, it was my inheritance. Maybe you know that feeling too, that tension between hope and fear whenever things start to go well. Chosen One, that is one of the things God is breaking off you in this shift. He is teaching you to receive without panic, to enjoy without guilt, to rest without constantly looking over your shoulder. True billionaire shift is not just more money, more pressure. It is more provision, more peace. Joy is going to return to you in surprising ways. Not just the loud joy of celebration, but the quiet joy of waking up and not feeling dread. The joy of opening your messages and seeing good news instead of another problem. The joy of being able to bless someone and watch their gratitude without needing anything in return. This joy is holy. It is strength. Anointed One peace will mark this next chapter too. Not the fragile peace that depends on everything going perfectly, but the deep, anchored peace that says, even when I do not know tomorrow, I know the one who holds it. You will notice that anxiety does not grip you the way it used to when a bill arrives, when plans shift, when people disappoint you. Why? Because your confidence is migrating from circumstances to covenant, and as inner healing unfolds, you will stop using money to patch emotional holes. You will not need to overspend to feel valuable, overgive to feel needed, or overwork to feel worthy. Your worth will come from who you are in God, not from what you can produce or purchase. This is the quiet miracle behind your billionaire shift, Chosen One. God is making sure that what He places in your hands will never outrun what He has restored in your heart. And in the next part of this journey, we will look at how your influence, impact, and relationships evolve as you step fully into this new realm of abundance and purpose. Chosen One, as God shifts your inner world and your resources, something powerful begins to happen in your influence. You are no longer just trying to survive your own story. You are becoming a voice inside the stories of others. Anointed One. There will come a moment when you realize that people are not only watching what you say, they are watching how you live, how you make decisions, how you handle increase, how you respond when things go right and when they do not. Your billionaire shift is not just about what you have, it is about what your life starts to demonstrate. You will notice more people coming to you for guidance. Some will ask about money, others will ask about faith, peace, direction, calling. They will sense that you carry something that does not shake easily. Do not minimize this. This is evidence that God has moved you from merely needing help to becoming help. You are turning from the one who always asks into the one who can now answer. There was a time when I felt unqualified to speak into anyone's life. I thought, who am I to advise anyone? I am still figuring this out myself. But I learned something important. God does not wait for us to be flawless before He uses us. He looks for those who are honest, teachable, and willing to share both the victories and the scars. That authenticity is part of your spiritual wealth. Chosen one, your relationships will change in this season. Some people will celebrate your growth, cheer your wins, and intercede for your next level. Hold those ones close. Others will feel intimidated or offended by the same growth you prayed for. Love them, but do not shrink yourself to make them comfortable. The same God who is expanding you will also protect you from being guilted back into smallness. Your circle may become smaller, but it will become sharper. God will surround you with other builders, dreamers, strategists, intercessors, and vision carriers. Conversations will shift from gossip and complaints to ideas, assignments, and solutions. Late-night calls will sound less like, "Why is this happening to me?" and more like, "How can we build what God is showing us?" That is a sign of your billionaire shift maturing. Anointed one, recognize that your presence will begin to function like a mirror. When people encounter you, they will suddenly see their own potential or their own resistance more clearly. Some will be inspired to rise. Others may choose to walk away. Do not chase anyone who chooses distance. Bless them and continue. Your assignment is too important to be paused by every misunderstanding. Your impact will not always be loud or public. Sometimes your greatest influence will be a private conversation that keeps someone from quitting, a quiet offering that keeps a vision alive, a gentle correction that realigns a wandering heart. Heaven records those moments just as much as any headline. Chosen one. This is what you must remember. God is not only increasing what you have, He is increasing what flows through you. Wisdom, comfort, strategy, generosity. These are all part of your billionaire portfolio. The more you let God move through you, the more space you give Him to move to you. And in the final part of this journey, Anointed One, we will step into the ultimate purpose of this entire shift, how your wealth, your story, and your calling converge into a legacy that points everything and everyone back to the heart of God. Chosen One. This is where everything we have been talking about comes together. The billionaire shift over your life is not just a financial headline, it is a spiritual storyline. It is about what your days, your decisions, and your DNA will speak long after you're gone. Heaven is not only thinking about your present relief, but about generational restoration. Anointed One. There will come a time when someone in your bloodline looks back and says, "It changed with them." The patterns of lack, fear, smallness, and constant survival broke at your name. You became the turning point. Not because you were perfect, but because you finally said a full yes. A yes to being healed. A yes to being stretched. A yes to being trusted with more than you thought you could carry. Your wealth is going to build things that outlive your hands. Schools, shelters, businesses, digital spaces, creative works, ministries, and quiet acts of kindness that no camera will ever see. Heaven sees them all. The shift in you becomes safety for others, opportunity for others, and proof to others that God still lifts people from hidden places into holy assignments. Chosen one, you are not just stepping into a richer lifestyle. You are stepping into a louder testimony. Every time you sign a contract, open a door for someone else, sponsor a dream, or forgive a debt, it will echo a simple truth. God did this, and He can do it again. Legacy in the kingdom is not just what you leave in a bank. It is what you leave in hearts, in atmospheres, in history. The way you chose faith instead of fear, obedience instead of comfort, surrender instead of control, that is the real treasure. Money will amplify it, not replace it. So here, anointed one, at this holy edge of your billionaire shift, I invite you to do the most powerful thing you can do. Lift your hands in your heart and say, Lord, all of it is yours. My story, my resources, my influence, my future. Use it all to reveal who you are. Because when a chosen one lives like that, the shift never really ends. It keeps flowing generation after generation as a river of glory, provision, and unshakable hope. Chosen one, as we come to this holy pause, hear me. The shift is not coming, it has already begun. Anointed one, you are standing in your kairos moment, the exact time heaven chose to open what was once locked, to release what was once delayed, to reveal what was once hidden. I declare over you, may your spirit stay awake, your mind stay clear, and your heart stay pure, as God trusts you with wealth, wisdom, and influence that heal, build, and restore. May every door meant for you open, every counterfeit be exposed, and every step be aligned with divine strategy. Chosen one, do not shrink back. Walk forward in quiet confidence, in deep gratitude, and in bold expectation of what is about to manifest. If this word has confirmed something in you, let your agreement speak. Share it with another chosen one, subscribe, and stay connected, and in the comments, simply write, I receive this shift. Heaven has taken notice of you. Now walk as one who has been noticed.